Leo was walking through the small desert village of Soria, carrying a crate of water and supplies for the villagers. The sun was high in the sky, burning the sand beneath his boots. The village was quiet that morning, with children running near the sandstone houses and farmers tending small patches of crops that survived the harsh desert. Leo liked visiting the villages on Zelera. Life was hard here, but the people were strong, and they had a quiet hope that things could get better. He always tried to help however he could. He had just reached the central square when a sudden sound broke the calm. A loud, metallic roar echoed across the dunes, and dust swirled as strange shapes appeared in the distance. Leo looked up and saw a group of raiders riding high-speed hover vehicles. Their armor shined under the sun, and their weapons glinted like knives in the light. Panic spread through the village instantly. Children screamed, women called out to hide their families, and men grabbed whatever they could to defend themselves. Leo did not hesitate. He set down the crate and ran toward the square, looking for the source of the chaos. The raiders were moving fast, taking everything in their path. They knocked over carts, smashed water barrels, and captured anyone who could not escape. Among the villagers, Leo noticed Mina, a small girl no older than 12, frozen in fear near the edge of the square. One of the raiders pointed a weapon at her, and in that moment, Leo's instincts took over. Without thinking, he ran in front of her. He pushed her behind him and braced himself for the blow. The raider's weapon fired, sending a pulse of energy straight at him. It hit Leo in the chest, and he felt a burning pain surge through his body. He fell to the ground, coughing and struggling to breathe. His vision blurred, and he could hear the shouts of the villagers around him, but everything seemed distant. Mina scrambled back, her eyes wide with fear and confusion. "He saved me," she cried, looking at the other villagers for help. A few men and women rushed forward to fight the raiders, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. Leo, though in pain, tried to get up. His mind was clouded, but one thought stayed clear: Mina was safe. That was all that mattered. The raiders laughed as they continued their attack. They grabbed what they wanted and threatened anyone who tried to stop them. One of the raiders came closer to Leo, thinking he was finished, but the villagers had formed a line to block him. The raider hesitated, then backed away, realizing they had underestimated the human's courage. Leo's body ached with every movement, but he managed to roll away from the square and crawl toward the healer's tent. The healer, a woman named Lyra, saw him coming and ran to help. She had seen injuries before, but this one was serious. Her hands moved quickly, pressing glowing alien herbs against the burn marks on his chest. The herbs emitted a soft light and a calming warmth. Leo gasped as the pain eased slightly, and he finally let himself collapse fully onto the soft mat inside the tent. Outside, the village was in chaos, but the worst of the attack had passed. The raiders, thinking they had done enough damage, pulled back and left the village in ruin. Villagers started gathering what remained of their belongings, helping the injured and comforting the frightened children. Leo could hear them, but he was too weak to respond. His body felt heavy, and every breath was a struggle. As he lay there, something unusual happened. A soft, blue light appeared outside the tent. It was not the natural glow of the desert or the reflection of the sun. The light pulsed gently, moving closer to the tent. Leo blinked, unsure if he was imagining it. The light grew brighter and formed the shape of a tall figure, unlike any human he had seen. Her skin shimmered like silver under the sunlight, and her eyes glowed with a calm, deep intelligence. Leo tried to sit up, but the healer gently pushed him back. "Rest, Leo. "You need your strength," she said, her voice full of concern. But Leo's curiosity would not let him rest. He watched as the figure moved closer, observing quietly. There was no weapon, no aggression. Just a presence that seemed powerful and wise. The silver figure lifted her hand, and Leo felt a strange warmth pass over him. It was not pain, not fear, just a sense of being seen, understood, and respected. His breathing slowed, and his racing heart calmed slightly. The figure remained outside the tent, watching, and then she stepped back into the blue light. It disappeared as silently as it had come, leaving only a faint shimmer in the air. Leo did not understand what he had just seen. He had faced many dangers before, but this presence felt different. It was not the raiders, not the desert, not the fire or the sand. It was something larger, something beyond him. He wondered if he would see it again, and what it meant. For now, he focused on the village. Mina was safe, the villagers were alive, and the raiders had left. That was enough for him. He closed his eyes for a moment, letting the healer's hands ease his pain. The desert was quiet again, but Leo knew that the strange figure would not leave his mind. He had acted for another, risking his life, and somehow, someone or something had noticed. Leo's thoughts drifted to Mina, to the villagers, and to the mysterious figure in silver. He did not know why, but he felt a connection to that presence, a feeling that his actions had meaning beyond the village. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the desert, Leo felt a spark of hope. The world was vast and full of danger, but bravery, kindness, and courage could reach farther than anyone realized. And somewhere above the desert, hidden from the villagers' eyes, Kayla, the alien mother, watched silently. Her curiosity about this human had grown, and she knew that this was only the beginning of a story that could change many worlds. The desert night settled over the village, cooling the sand and bringing a quiet stillness. Leo lay in the healer's tent, exhausted but alive. He could still feel the strange presence from earlier, the shimmer of silver in the sky. Sleep was hard to find, but curiosity and unease kept him awake. Who had been watching him? Why had they appeared at that moment? High above the village, far beyond what human eyes could see, Kayla observed. She hovered in her silver ship, silent and powerful, her glowing eyes fixed on Leo. Kayla had lived for hundreds of cycles, studying countless worlds, but humans fascinated her. Their courage, their unpredictability, and their capacity for selfless acts were rare in the galaxy. When she saw Leo throw himself in front of the raider to save a child, she felt a spark of admiration. Kayla had a daughter named Nira. Nira had grown up in isolation, protected by Kayla from dangers both physical and emotional. She was brilliant and curious, but she had never seen anyone act purely for the sake of another without expectation of reward. Kayla wondered if Leo could show Nira a way to understand bravery and kindness, not as abstract ideas but as living actions. From the cockpit of her ship, Kayla analyzed the village below. The raiders had left, but the villagers were shaken. She could see the worry in their movements, the fatigue in their faces, and the fear in the children's eyes. Leo's actions had made a difference, yet she understood that he had risked his life. That risk was what drew her attention. Few humans acted with such instinctive courage. Kayla made a decision. She would approach Leo, not to threaten, but to observe more closely and perhaps guide him in ways that could benefit both her people and his. She sent small, invisible probes to move near the healer's tent, scanning and recording without disturbing him. The probes were gentle, almost like small whispers of light in the air, and they collected data about his movements, his breathing, and his reactions. Meanwhile, Leo finally drifted into sleep, dreaming of stars and strange lights. In his dream, the silver figure appeared again, standing silently among the dunes, her eyes calm and full of knowledge. Leo reached out, but he could not touch her. Still, her presence felt protective. He woke just before dawn, feeling more alert than before. He sensed that someone had been near him, watching him, and it made him uneasy. The morning brought a flurry of activity. The villagers were repairing damage from the attack, rebuilding what they could and sharing what little food remained. Leo helped as best he could, moving supplies and encouraging the frightened children. Mina stayed close to him, holding his hand as they cleaned debris from the square. She asked questions about the raiders, about the strange light she had seen in the sky, and about why Leo had risked his life for her. Leo smiled softly, saying, "Everyone deserves a chance to live safely, Mina. That is all." Unseen above, Kayla watched every action, noting how Leo interacted with the villagers. He did not ask for praise or recognition. He did not hesitate to help those in need. He did not panic even after being wounded. These qualities marked him as extraordinary, not just a brave human, but one who embodied values she wanted to share with Nira. Kayla decided it was time to make herself known. She descended closer to the village, hiding her ship behind the distant dunes so it could not be seen by the villagers. Using a form of energy she could manipulate, she projected a soft, shimmering form outside the healer's tent. The light was comforting and calm, shaped like a figure, but still clearly alien. Leo noticed the glow immediately. He froze, unsure if he was awake or still dreaming. The figure spoke, and her voice was smooth, deep, and full of authority. "Human," she said. "You acted with courage today. You risked your life for another without thought for reward. I have observed many beings, but few show such instinctive bravery." Leo's heart raced. He sat up slowly, rubbing his eyes. "Who are you?" he asked cautiously. "Why are you here?" "I am Kayla," she said. "I come from a world far beyond this desert. I do not intend to harm you. I came because your actions have drawn my attention. You have qualities that are rare, and I wish to understand them more." Leo's mind raced. An alien? Above the village? Watching him? He tried to stay calm, telling himself that panic would not help. "Why would my actions matter to you?" he asked. Kayla's glowing eyes softened. "Because I have a daughter," she explained. "Her name is Nira. She has been protected from the world, but she has never seen an act of selfless courage. You have shown her example, even if she does not yet know it. I want her to learn from you, and I want to see if your courage is more than a single moment." Leo thought about what she said. He had acted without thinking, without hope of reward. But the idea that someone, somewhere, noticed and cared about his actions was strange and powerful. "I did what anyone should do," he said quietly. "I did not expect anyone to watch or care." Kayla tilted her head slightly. "That is why your courage is true," she said. "Bravery that expects nothing is rare. That is why I am interested in you. I wish to see more, and perhaps, if you are willing, I wish to invite you to my world, to meet my daughter." Leo blinked. The offer was overwhelming. "Your world? Your daughter?" he asked. "Why would you want me to go there?" Kayla's eyes glowed brighter for a moment. "Because actions define beings. You act with honor and bravery. Nira needs to see that in practice, not only in theory. I also wish to understand humans better. Perhaps your presence can help both of our worlds. Leo felt a mixture of fear and curiosity. He had never imagined traveling to another world, meeting aliens, or influencing the life of someone like Nira. Yet, deep inside, he felt a pull, a sense that this could be an opportunity to do something important. He looked around the village, at Mina, at the villagers he had helped, and then back to the glowing figure. I will consider it, he said cautiously. But I need to recover first. I cannot travel like this. Kayla nodded. Rest and regain your strength. I will wait. When the time comes, you will know what to do. For now, continue to help those around you as you did before. That is enough to show your character. With that, she withdrew the light, leaving only a faint shimmer in the air. Leo stared at the empty space, trying to process what had just happened. He could feel the weight of her words, the sense that his actions had significance far beyond the desert village. As the sun climbed higher, Leo returned to helping the villagers, but his mind was full of questions. Who was Kayla? What would Nero be like? Could he really travel to another world? He did not know the answers, but one thing was certain, his life had changed. Someone had noticed his courage, and that notice had opened a door to something much larger than he had ever imagined. Above the desert, hidden from human eyes, Kayla watched again. Her decision to approach him was only the first step. She felt a rare hope, one that even she had not felt in many cycles. Leo's bravery was the spark that could light the path for both her daughter and the humans. The galaxy was vast, but for the first time, Kayla sensed that two very different worlds might come together through courage, kindness, and trust. The village of Soria slowly returned to its routine after the raider attack. Villagers rebuilt broken carts and repaired damaged shelters. Children ran through the streets once more, though their laughter was quieter, still marked by fear. Leo spent most of his day helping wherever he could, but his body was weak. The energy pulse from the raider's weapon had left a deep burn on his chest, and he felt every movement painfully. Lyra, the village healer, worked tirelessly to mend him. She applied glowing herbs to the wound, and the warm light eased the pain bit by bit. Leo watched her carefully, grateful for her skill. "Thank you, Lyra," he said quietly. "I do not know what I would have done without your help." Lyra smiled. "You risked your life for a child, Leo. That is worth more than any thanks. Now you must rest. You cannot help anyone if you collapse from exhaustion." Leo nodded, but resting was difficult. His mind kept drifting to the silver figure he had seen in the desert. Kayla. He did not know her name yet, but he could not shake the feeling that she was still near. He could almost sense her watching him, studying him, and evaluating his every action. The thought was unsettling, but also strangely comforting. By midday, he decided to leave the tent and walk among the villagers, even if it meant moving slowly. He wanted to see how life went on after the attack, to witness the resilience of the people he had fought to protect. Mina ran up to him, clutching his hand. "Are you all right?" she asked. Her eyes were full of concern, but also admiration. "I am recovering," Leo said, smiling weakly. "And thanks to your courage, you are safe. That is what matters." Mina's small hand squeezed his. "I want to be brave like you," she said. "I want to help others too." Leo's chest swelled with pride. "You already are brave, Mina. You ran when it was dangerous. You helped the others stay calm. That is courage too." As he walked with her through the village, he noticed something strange. In the sand near the edge of the square, tiny points of glowing light moved slowly. At first, he thought it was part of the herbs from the healer's work, but the light seemed to follow him. He stopped and crouched, watching carefully. The lights shifted, almost as if alive, circling gently around his feet. Leo frowned. "What is this?" he whispered. He reached out, and the lights scattered, moving in patterns too precise for random chance. They glimmered for a moment before disappearing entirely. His heart raced. Someone or something was definitely watching him. Later, when he returned to the healer's tent, he found Lyra studying the sand outside. "I saw it too," she said quietly. "Strange lights. I thought I imagined them." "But you are not imagining anything, Leo. Something is here." Leo nodded. "I know. I think the figure from yesterday is nearby. I do not understand why." Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. "Perhaps it is curiosity, or perhaps something wants to see your courage. Either way, you must be careful, but you do not need to be afraid. You have always acted with honor. That will guide you." That evening, the village gathered near the central square. Fires burned in small pits, and the villagers shared what little food remained. Leo joined them, though he had little appetite. His mind was focused on the unknown presence. Mina sat beside him, quietly drawing patterns in the sand. "Do you think they are dangerous?" she asked softly. Leo shook his head. "I do not think so. I believe they are watching, trying to understand us. But we will see soon enough." Night fell, and the desert became cold and silent. Leo lay outside, wrapped in a blanket, gazing at the stars. The sky was vast and filled with lights he had never seen before. Somewhere among those stars, Kayla and her ship waited. He could almost feel her presence, calm and patient, observing him without intrusion. Suddenly, a small ripple of light appeared in the distance. It moved closer, forming shapes that resembled faint, glowing orbs. Leo sat up, careful not to make sudden movements. The orbs circled him, moving in patterns that seemed intelligent. They hovered near him, almost like tiny birds of light. Then, as silently as it had begun, the light formed a humanoid shape. It was Kayla, though smaller and less distinct than before. Her shimmering silver skin glowed faintly in the desert night. Leo's heart raced. He had expected her, but seeing her materialize so clearly was overwhelming. "You are awake," Kayla said, her voice soft yet clear. "I have been observing your recovery. You move with care, and you treat the villagers with respect. It is impressive. Many would have sought rest without helping others. You have not." Leo swallowed hard. I just want to help. That is all." Kayla tilted her head slightly. "And that is why I am interested in you. Humans often act out of fear or desire, but you act out of principle. That is rare. It is something my daughter needs to understand. Nira has not seen courage like yours. I wish for her to learn from you, if you are willing." Leo's curiosity grew. "Your daughter?" he asked. "Who is she? Why does she need me?" Kayla's eyes glowed softly. "She has been protected all her life. She has learned knowledge, but not action. She has not seen someone put another before themselves without thought of reward. You have shown her the example she needs. I wish for her to understand what bravery truly means." Leo looked down at the sand, thinking. The idea of meeting an alien, and a child who had never seen courage, was overwhelming. but he also felt a sense of responsibility. "If it helps her, I will do my best," he said finally. Kayla's light shimmered, a subtle smile forming. "That is enough for now. Rest, recover, and continue to help those around you. Your actions already speak louder than words. Soon, I will invite you to my world. Then you will meet Nira, and she will learn from your courage directly." Leo nodded, exhausted but filled with a strange sense of purpose. He lay back on the blanket, staring at the stars. He had acted without thinking when he saved Mina, but now he realized that courage had consequences. It could reach across worlds, touch lives far beyond his own, and inspire even those who had never seen a human before. As sleep finally claimed him, Leo felt a spark of hope. The galaxy was vast and full of unknown dangers, but it was also full of possibility. Somewhere out there, Kayla watched, her interest in him growing with each passing moment. He had acted for another, and now that action had opened a door to a future he could never have imagined. The morning sun rose over the desert village of Soria, casting long shadows across the sand. Leo stretched carefully, testing his strength. His body still ached from the injury he had taken to protect Mina, but the warmth of the sun and the healer's care made him feel stronger than the day before. He stepped outside the healer's tent and noticed that the village was already bustling. The villagers worked together to repair their homes, carry water, and rebuild what the raiders had destroyed. Leo walked among them, offering assistance wherever he could. Mina followed closely, holding his hand, her eyes bright with curiosity. "Will they come back?" she asked softly. Leo looked at the horizon, where the desert stretched endlessly. "I do not know," he said honestly. "But we will be ready if they do. Right now, we must focus on helping each other." As he spoke, a soft shimmer appeared in the distance, near the edge of the village. Leo's heart skipped a beat. He had felt this presence before, but now it seemed more deliberate. The shimmer grew stronger, forming a figure in the morning light. It was Kayla, standing tall and silver, her skin reflecting the sunlight in patterns that seemed alive. The villagers noticed her presence too, stepping back in awe. They had never seen anyone like her. She did not speak at first, but her calm and powerful presence filled the square. Leo felt a mixture of fear and fascination. He had expected her to appear, but the reality of an alien standing before him was overwhelming. Kayla raised her hand slightly, a gesture that was both peaceful and commanding. "Do not be afraid," she said in a voice that carried easily across the square. "I come as a friend. My name is Kayla, and I have observed this village for some time. I have watched the courage of one human in particular. Leo, it is you." Leo took a cautious step forward, trying to hide his trembling. "You watched me?" he asked. "Why?" Kayla's silver eyes glowed softly. "Because your actions were extraordinary. You risked your life to save a child, showing bravery and selflessness. These qualities are rare among humans and even rarer in beings I have encountered across the galaxy. I wish to understand more about your courage and to introduce you to my daughter, Nira. She has never seen such behavior and can learn from you." The villagers murmured among themselves, unsure whether to trust her. Some had seen the raiders and knew danger, but Kayla's presence did not feel threatening. Leo, however, could sense the truth in her words. She was not there to harm, she was there to observe and to offer an opportunity. I do not know if I can help your daughter," Leo said cautiously. "I am just a human. I do what I think is right, but I am not sure I am special." Kayla tilted her head, her expression thoughtful. That is exactly why you are special. Bravery that does not seek reward, kindness that does not expect thanks, courage that comes from principle rather than ego, these are qualities that cannot be taught easily. Your actions have already spoken louder than any words. Nira needs to see this in person. Leo felt a mixture of pride and nervousness. The idea of traveling to an alien world, meeting someone like Nira, and influencing her life was overwhelming. Yet, deep inside, he felt a pull, a sense that this was the next step in something much larger than himself. Kayla studied him carefully. "You may have questions," she said. "You may wonder why I choose to reveal myself now, why I am asking you to take part in this. All I can say is that the universe is vast, and connections between beings are rare. When courage is recognized, it can change the course of lives. You have sparked such a change." Leo looked at the villagers around him. Mina was watching him with wide eyes, and the adults nodded their approval. They trusted him. He took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. "I will do my best," he said finally. "If my courage can help your daughter, I will try. But I must recover fully first." Kayla's presence shimmered slightly, almost as if she were smiling. "You will recover. I will wait. But you must know that the journey will be different from anything you have experienced. My world is not like this village. It is larger, older, and full of knowledge and technology that may seem strange. You will need courage, intelligence, and patience." Leo nodded, trying to imagine what such a world would be like. He had seen other planets from shuttle flights, but none compared to what Kayla described. "I will try," he said again. "I have faced danger before, but never like this. I will need guidance." Kayla lowered her hands, her silver form glowing softly. "Then guidance will be given. You have already shown the most important quality, willingness to act for the sake of others. That is the foundation of all bravery. Nero will learn from you, and you will learn from her as well. Your example can shape her understanding of the universe." The villagers began to step closer, fascinated but respectful. One elder spoke quietly to Leo. "Do you trust this being?" he asked. Leo looked at Kayla, then back at the elder. "I feel that she is not here to harm. I feel that she has seen what I have done and wants to guide something good. That is enough for now." Kayla observed the exchange silently, noting how humans communicated and made judgments. Even with her advanced understanding, she found the simplicity and honesty of their actions remarkable. She felt a growing respect for Leo and a deep curiosity about the human race. Finally, Kayla spoke again. "Leo, when you are ready, I will ask you to come with me. Nero must meet someone who embodies courage. She must see actions, not only hear of them. If you are willing, your journey will begin soon. For now, continue to care for your village, recover your strength, and prepare yourself for what is to come." Leo felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. He had faced danger, helped others, and survived, but the path ahead was unknown. Yet, he also felt a sense of purpose. Someone in the galaxy had noticed his actions, and that recognition was not only an honor but a responsibility. As Kayla's light slowly faded, Leo stood in the center of the village square, taking in the morning air. The desert felt quiet once more, but the possibility of adventure and connection stretched across the stars. For the first time, he realized that his small acts of courage could ripple far beyond his own life, touching worlds he had never imagined. Mina squeezed his hand again, smiling. "I want to be brave like you," she said softly. Leo smiled back. "You already are, Mina. You just do not know it yet. Courage is in every act of helping others, even when you are scared. The sun climbed higher, bathing the village in warmth. Leo knew that soon, he would have to make a choice, one that could change his life forever. But for now, he focused on recovery, on helping the villagers, and on preparing for the moment when Kayla would return to take him to meet Nira. And somewhere above the desert, Kayla's ship glimmered against the bright sky, watching patiently. She had made her first contact, and the next step was coming. The journey of discovery, courage, and connection was only beginning. Leo stood at the edge of the village, staring at the distant dunes. His body had healed enough to walk and carry out small tasks, and his mind was ready for the journey Kayla had promised. When he looked up at the sky, he could see a faint shimmer among the stars, the sign of Kayla's presence above. Today, he would leave the village behind and step into a world he could not imagine. Kayla appeared in the desert again, her silver form glowing gently in the sunlight. "Are you ready, Leo?" she asked. Her voice was calm, filled with authority but without threat. Leo nodded, swallowing his nervousness. "I think so. I have helped the villagers, and I am ready to see your world and meet Nira." Kayla extended her hand, and a soft pulse of light formed a platform in the sand. The villagers gathered, watching silently. Leo could see the mixture of fear and curiosity in their eyes. He waved to them, smiling. "I will return with stories and lessons. Keep helping each other. Courage is in every small act." Mina ran forward, hugging his arm. "Be careful, Leo. Nira is lucky to have you." Leo smiled at her, feeling a warmth in his chest. "I will be careful, and I will do my best. You be brave too, Mina." With a gentle gesture, Kayla lifted the platform. Leo felt a tingling sensation as he floated above the sand. The desert fell away beneath him, and he saw the village shrink into the distance. The wind whipped past his face, but it was exhilarating rather than frightening. He was leaving everything he knew behind. Kayla's ship appeared through a ripple in the sky. It was large and sleek, its silver surface reflecting the sun like a mirror. The craft moved with fluid precision, silent except for the hum of its engines. Leo stepped onto the ramp, his boots clicking against the metallic surface. Inside, the ship was vast and filled with lights that pulsed gently. Panels glowed with data, and strange symbols moved across screens. The air was warm and clean, scented faintly of something unfamiliar but calming. "You will need to understand my technology," Kayla said as they moved through the ship. "It is different from what you know, but you will adapt quickly. Humans are capable of learning fast, especially when they are brave and willing." Leo nodded, examining the displays. He saw symbols that shifted and changed, reacting to Kayla's touch. "This is incredible," he said softly. "I have never seen anything like it." Kayla smiled faintly. "It is my world. It is full of knowledge, but knowledge alone is not enough. Understanding requires courage and wisdom. You have both. That is why you are here." As the ship lifted higher, Leo looked out of a large window. The desert below became a distant orange and gold pattern. The horizon stretched endlessly, and the stars began to emerge, bright and constant. He felt small and yet connected to something larger. Kayla noticed his expression. "You are feeling the vastness," she said. "It is natural. Many beings fear it. You do not. That is why you have been chosen to meet Nira. Courage allows you to face the unknown without losing yourself." The journey through space was unlike anything Leo had imagined. They passed through asteroid fields that glowed with reflected light, and nebula clouds that shimmered in colors he could not name. The ship moved smoothly, faster than any human craft, yet Leo felt no discomfort. Kayla guided him gently, explaining the systems he would need to know if he were to help her on her world. Hours passed, though Leo had no sense of time. He began to understand the controls, learning how energy flowed through the ship and how it responded to thought and movement. Kayla gave him small tasks, like adjusting panels and monitoring energy flows. Each task was a test of attention, patience, and care. Leo performed them well, surprising himself with how quickly he adapted. "You are learning quickly," Kayla said. "That is good. But intelligence alone is not enough. You must understand responsibility. Each action has consequences. You will face challenges that cannot be solved by knowledge alone." Leo nodded. "I understand. I have learned that even small choices can matter. I will be careful." As the ship moved closer to Kayla's home planet, Leo saw a world unlike any he had ever seen. The surface was vast and glowing with blue and green energy, with forests and rivers that shimmered in light he had never known. Cities floated above the land, connected by bridges of pure energy. The air seemed to hum with life and knowledge. Kayla guided him to a platform that would take them safely to the planet's surface. "This is the beginning of your lessons," she said. "You will meet Nira soon, and you will see the challenges she faces. Your courage and kindness will be tested, but you must remember why you are here. You are here to show example and to inspire." Leo stepped onto the platform, feeling the gentle lift as it descended through the atmosphere. The air was warm and clean, scented faintly of flowers and minerals he could not identify. He felt a sense of awe and responsibility. This was not just a world of knowledge and technology. It was a world of lessons, of growth, and of opportunity. Finally, they reached the surface. The platform landed smoothly in a large courtyard surrounded by glowing trees and structures that seemed alive. In the center, a young figure watched from behind a set of silver pillars. She was Nira, Kayla's daughter. Her eyes were wide with curiosity and intelligence. She stepped forward cautiously, observing Leo carefully. Kayla spoke softly, introducing them. "Leo, this is Nira. Nira, this is Leo. He has come to help you understand courage and selflessness. Watch, learn, and interact. There is much to share." Nira studied Leo for a long moment. He knelt slightly to meet her eyes at her level. "Hello, Nira. I am here to learn with you, and perhaps teach a little too. Will you help me?" Nira nodded slowly, a mixture of caution and curiosity in her expression. "I will try," she said quietly. "I want to understand." Kayla watched them both, feeling a quiet satisfaction. The first step of the journey was complete. Leo had arrived, ready to show the meaning of courage in action. Nira had begun to learn that bravery was not only a word, but something to experience and practice. The courtyard was filled with soft glowing lights, and the world around them hummed with energy and life. Leo felt the weight of responsibility, but also a spark of excitement. The adventure of learning, teaching, and inspiring had begun, and he knew that this journey would change all of them. Above the courtyard, Kayla's silver form shimmered, watching quietly. Her daughter had met a human of extraordinary courage, and the first lessons of trust, bravery, and kindness had already begun. Leo took a deep breath and looked around the glowing world. This was a new chapter, and he was ready to face it with courage, just as he had faced the raiders in the desert. The courtyard of Kayla's world was quiet, filled with soft glowing light from the trees and structures that seemed alive. Leo stood on the smooth surface, feeling the hum of energy beneath his feet. His heart raced with anticipation. He had traveled across space to reach this place, to meet someone he had only heard about, yet the feeling of responsibility weighed heavily on him. From behind a set of glowing pillars, Nira stepped forward. She was smaller than he expected, but her eyes were bright and sharp, filled with intelligence and curiosity. She watched Leo carefully, her movements cautious but deliberate. He noticed the way she studied him, as if trying to understand what made him different from others. Leo knelt slightly to meet her gaze. "Hello, Nira," he said gently. "My name is Leo. I have come to meet you and to share something important. Will you let me?" Nira tilted her head. "Why are you here?" she asked softly. "Why would an alien like your companion bring a human here?" Leo smiled faintly. "Because I did something for someone else without thinking of reward. Your mother, Kayla, wanted you to see that. Courage and kindness can take many forms, but what matters is the heart behind the action." Nira's eyes widened slightly. She had seen many things in her life, but a human showing such bravery and humility was unusual. She took a hesitant step forward. "You protected someone you did not know?" she asked. "Yes," Leo said. "I saw a child in danger, and I acted. I did not think about myself. I just wanted to keep her safe." Nira considered this. She had studied the histories of countless beings, watched the records of battles and heroic acts, but hearing it directly, from someone who had lived it, was different. "I have never seen anyone do that," she said quietly. "Even here, many act for power or recognition. You act, because it is right." Leo nodded. "Exactly. Doing what is right is more important than fame, reward, or recognition. That is the courage I want to share with you." Kayla watched from nearby, her silver form glowing softly. She was proud of Leo and of Nira. This was the moment she had hoped for, an exchange of understanding between two very different beings. Leo's actions would teach Nira more than any lesson from books or lessons in her schools. Nira took another step closer. "What will I learn from you?" she asked. "You will learn that courage is not just fighting or winning," Leo explained. "It is standing up for others, helping when it is difficult, and staying calm when danger comes. You will see that small choices, made with a good heart, can change lives." Nira's eyes reflected the soft glow of the courtyard. "I want to try," she said softly. "But I do not know if I am brave enough." Leo smiled gently. "Bravery is not about never being afraid. It is about acting even when you are afraid. You already have courage if you try." Kayla stepped closer, her presence reassuring. "Leo will guide you," she said. "Observe his actions, listen to his words, and practice. Courage can be learned, but it must be experienced." For the next few hours, Leo and Nira walked through the courtyard together. He showed her small tasks that required focus, attention, and care. He asked her to help delicate energy plants, which reacted to touch and required gentle guidance. Nira was hesitant at first, afraid of damaging them, but Leo guided her patiently. "You are learning," he said. "Every careful action is a step toward courage." Nira slowly began to gain confidence. She noticed how Leo remained calm even when something went wrong, how he focused on solutions rather than panic. "I understand a little now," she said. "It is not about strength. It is about patience and care." Leo nodded. "Yes. Courage is about heart. Even the strongest can fail if they do not have the right heart. Kayla observed silently, impressed by the subtle way Leo influenced Nira. His humility, patience, and courage were already teaching lessons that books or technology never could. She had hoped he would inspire her daughter, but the depth of the connection was even stronger than she expected. As the day passed, they encountered small challenges Kayla had prepared. The first was a delicate bridge made of energy beams, suspended above a glowing pool. Nira hesitated at the edge. Leo took her hand. "Trust yourself," he said. "Step carefully. Focus on what you can control. I will be with you." Together, they crossed the bridge, Nira's confidence growing with each careful step. She smiled when they reached the other side, the tension in her shoulders easing. "I did it," she said. "I really did it?" "Yes, you did," Leo said. "See? Courage grows when you act, even when you are afraid." Next, Kayla guided them to a grove of plants that reacted to emotion. If someone approached angrily or impatiently, the plants closed tightly. Leo demonstrated patience and care, speaking softly and moving with thoughtfulness. Nira followed, and the plants responded positively to her actions. She laughed with delight when a cluster of glowing flowers opened fully at her touch. "This is amazing," Nira said. "I never knew that patience and care could make such a difference." Leo smiled. "That is the lesson. Bravery is not always loud. Sometimes, it is quiet, careful, and consistent. But it changes everything." By evening, Nira had grown visibly more confident. Her posture was stronger, her eyes brighter, and her curiosity more open. Kayla approached Leo. "You have done well," she said softly. "You have shown her that courage is not abstract, that it is something to be lived and experienced. I am grateful for your guidance." Leo felt a warm sense of accomplishment. "I am glad to help. Nira is learning quickly. She will do great things if she continues." Nira looked up at him, smiling. "Thank you, Leo. I think I understand more now. Not just about courage, but about caring for others, even when it is hard." Kayla's silver form shimmered in the evening light. "The lessons have only begun," she said. "But today is the first step. Courage grows through practice, and you have started well, Nira. And Leo, your example will continue to guide her." As the stars appeared in the sky above, the courtyard was quiet again, but it felt alive with potential. Leo realized that this journey was not only about teaching courage. It was about connection, understanding, and trust between different worlds. His actions had reached beyond his own life, touching Nira and her mother in ways he could never have imagined. Leo watched Nira, who was now exploring the courtyard with quiet confidence, touching the glowing plants and moving carefully through the energy patterns. He felt a sense of hope. Courage, kindness, and patience could spread, even across worlds, if someone took the first step. Kayla observed silently, her eyes glowing softly. Her daughter had met a human who embodied the values she hoped to teach, and the first lessons had taken root. The journey of learning, courage, and connection had begun, and all three of them knew that this was only the beginning. The morning on Kayla's world was bright and full of life. The glowing trees and energy fields pulsed gently, casting patterns across the courtyard where Leo and Nira stood. Today, Kayla had prepared a challenge, one that would show whether Nira had truly begun to understand courage and responsibility. Leo watched her closely. He could see a mixture of excitement and nervousness in Nira's eyes. "Are you ready?" he asked gently. Nira nodded. I think so. I want to try. Kayla stepped forward, her silver form glowing softly. This will be a test, not of strength, but of decision and heart. A choice must be made. Your actions will affect not only yourself but others nearby. Leo will guide you, but the final decision is yours. Leo placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Remember what we practiced. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting despite it. Focus on what is right, and trust yourself. The challenge was revealed. A glowing path of energy stretched across a wide chasm. At the center, a small, fragile structure floated, pulsing with light. Nira could see that the structure was unstable, one wrong step could send it collapsing. Across the chasm, another structure stood, larger and solid, but it required a longer journey along a narrow, winding path. Kayla spoke quietly. Both structures hold energy that can benefit the world. One is easy but small. The other is difficult but significant. Choose wisely, for your decision will matter. Nira hesitated, her gaze flicking between the two paths. Leo knelt beside her. Remember, Nira, the right choice is not always the easiest. Courage often means taking the harder path when it is what must be done. She took a deep breath, recalling their lessons. Every small task they had done together, every careful step and patient action, had built her confidence. Her fear was present, but it was tempered by understanding. Slowly, she made her choice, stepping onto the narrow path that led to the larger structure. Leo followed, offering support and encouragement as she moved carefully. Good, Nira. Steady. Watch your steps. Each decision matters. The path twisted and turned, challenging her focus and patience. At one point, a pulse of energy shifted beneath her feet, making the path tremble. Nira froze, but Leo placed a steady hand on her back. You can do this. Courage is in acting, not stopping. Keep going. Step by step, she moved forward. Each small success built confidence, and soon she reached the larger structure. Her hands touched the glowing panels, and the energy within responded positively, spreading a bright light across the courtyard. Nira smiled, her eyes shining with pride and understanding. You did it, Leo said softly. See? Courage grows when you act with care and heart. You made the right choice, even though it was difficult. Kayla watched silently, her eyes glimmering with approval. Nira, you have taken the first steps toward understanding courage. You have acted with careful thought, patience, and heart. Your choice was not easy, yet you acted rightly. This is the essence of bravery. Nira turned to Leo. I understand now. Courage is not about being strong or fearless. It is about doing what must be done, even when it is hard. Leo smiled, proud of her progress. Exactly. And remember, even small actions can make a difference. Every choice, every effort matters. Kayla stepped closer. Leo, you have taught her well. Your example and guidance have shaped her understanding. She has learned that bravery comes from principle, heart, and action. That is the greatest lesson a being can receive. Leo looked at Kayla, humbled. I only did what I hoped would help her. I never imagined it would matter so much. Kayla's eyes glowed softly. Sometimes, the simplest acts of courage have the largest impact. Your actions reached beyond your own life, teaching lessons that will last generations. Nero looked between them. Thank you, Leo. You showed me that bravery is not a word in a book. It is something to experience, to practice, and to carry in your heart. Leo placed a hand gently on her shoulder. You have learned quickly. Keep practicing, Nira. Courage grows with every choice you make. The courtyard was quiet for a moment, filled with the glow of energy from the structures and the warmth of understanding. Leo felt a sense of accomplishment. His journey had begun with saving a child in a desert village, and it had led him across space to teach courage to someone who had never seen it. Kayla's voice broke the silence. There will be many challenges ahead, both for Nira and for the humans she will encounter. But today marks a turning point. Courage, kindness, and patience are not abstract ideas. They are living actions. Leo, your example has made this clear. Leo nodded, feeling the weight of her words. I only hope I can continue to live up to it. I will do my best. Kayla smiled faintly, her silver form shimmering in the light. That is enough. Courage is not perfection. It is persistence, action, and heart. You have shown that in abundance. Nero looked at the glowing energy around her and then back at Leo. I want to continue learning. There is so much to understand, and I want to be ready for whatever comes. Leo smiled. We will learn together, Nira. Bravery is a journey, not a single act. And every step matters. As the sun set on Kayla's world, the courtyard glowed softly in the twilight. Leo realized that this journey had not only changed Nira, but it had also changed him. His actions, starting with saving a child in a desert village, had created ripples across worlds. He had shown that courage, kindness, and selflessness were powerful, universal forces. Kayla watched the two humans, proud and hopeful. Her daughter had seen an example of true bravery, and a human had proven that acts of courage could inspire, teach, and change lives far beyond what anyone could imagine. Leo took a deep breath, looking at the glowing horizon. He knew that challenges would continue, that dangers would come, but he also knew that courage, once acted upon, could overcome almost anything. The lesson of bravery had been learned and shared, and the ripple would continue, reaching worlds and hearts beyond the stars. Nira smiled at him, glowing with confidence and understanding. Thank you, Leo. For everything. Leo placed a hand gently on hers. No, Nira. Thank you for learning. Courage is stronger when it spreads. Remember that always. The stars appeared above, shining bright in the vast sky of Kayla's world. For the first time, Leo understood the true power of bravery. It was not in fighting, not in strength, but in actions taken for others, in choices made with heart, and in the courage to act when it is needed most. And somewhere above the courtyard, Kayla's silver form shimmered quietly, watching with pride and hope. The journey had reached its first true conclusion, but the lessons would continue, carried forward by the brave hearts of Leo and Nira across worlds and generations. The universe was vast, and yet, courage could bridge any distance, touch any life, and change the fate of all who embraced it.